No one in this world can you trust. Not men, not women, not beasts. This you can trust.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Glory of Golden State Gaming. I'm your host, SwampSwimmer, and with me, as always, the Mr. Spock to my Captain Kirk, Vespasian.
That's a great one. Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Okay, this is a long...
I can't believe we haven't done
I know,
this.
yeah.
Is the 100st report. That's crazy.
Multiple episodes ago, which was in time-wise like months and months ago, I dogged on the Lord of the Rings show, The Rings of Power, and I promised you guys that I would talk about a show I did like, and I'm gonna say it right now. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I watched Andor season 1. It was so good. It was so good. Bold statement here. This is the best Star Wars entertainment since the original trilogy.
Whoa.
Yeah. Bold statement. Bold statement. If you don't
That is a bold statement.
If you don't agree with me, let me know in the comments.
I loved it as well. I thought it was really good. I think, you know, it's engaging. It's like a little bit more like normalized as opposed to like fantastic, which is really cool to see.
It's a little closer to...
kind of the origin story of the rebellion and stuff. I thought that was nifty. They're really well done. Can't recommend it highly enough.
Yeah, and like the I guess spoiler words. I'm not big spoiler, but like there's usually shows have one or two like climactic moments. This one had 3. It was like 3 climatic point, and then it went down once again, and then a third final one. I was like, the story structure was interesting too. No Jedi, no space magic, just like nuts and bolts, like spy movie almost, like the spy. If you put like a really good spy thriller into the Star Wars world, I loved it. Complete recommendation.
Yeah. Agree. 2 thumbs up. There was that moment when the Rings of Power, Andor, Game of Thrones, there was one other another one. It was like I was like, you know, nerd TV Nirvana. It was so good.
It's too much. I can't keep up.
Yeah, exactly.
But we are here to talk about a battle report. And it's round 5 of Infernal Zoo 10 2022, Davis, California. 10th year running. Shout out to Alex for running it. And I was sitting at 35 points. No, 45 points. 45 after 4 games. So I'm like, oh, I'm sitting pretty good. And then I get paired into our good friend Henry, who's been on the channel multiple times. He loves his Asklanders, his Asklanders. I gotta pronounce that right, Asklanders. And I get paired into him, which is great because I haven't played him in a long time. He always beats me, so but whatever, have a good time. If you are interested in my list, please click the link right above my head. It'll take you directly to the round 1 video where we go into my list in a little more detail. But he is running this Asklander list. So he's got a Wizard Master on Witchcraft, Essence of Mithril, Talisman of the Void. He's got another Apprentice on a Chariot on Shamanism with Alchemist Alloy and Norn's Bones. Norn's Bones, I can't remember what that does. That might be
Isn't that the one that lets him pick the master spells?
Yeah, I think he gets to choose any spell he wants.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting piece. It kind of runs out there it can kind of do its own thing. It's pretty tough on a chariot, and it's a caster, so it's an interesting piece. He's got a chief on a chimera with wings, which is super interesting, with the hand weapon, whatever that is, and that is the double crush attack. magic item. He's got another chief who's his general with the Berserker pelt on, Destiny's Call, Touch of Greatness, Rod of Battle, Potion of Swiftness. Then he's got 2 chiefs with the Longship Raid, so he loves doing the Longship Raid. He's got 48 Asklanders with great weapons and the Raven banner. 29 with Spear and Shield, Banner Discipline. 29 Great Weapon, Banner Discipline. Those 2 Banner Disciplines are the Longship raiding ones because he wants that reroll for panic checks. 22 Berserkers, 6 Trolls, a Big Brother Giant, and a regular Giant. I mean, it's a beefy list.
Yeah, I can see those War Spears. Will the War Spears do... They'll do multi-wound to the Torsos. Will they do it to the Thyroid?
I think is it only...
Or is it just gigantic?
I think it's just a gigantic, so it won't do it to the Thyroscutuses.
Not the Thyros, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of beef.
It's a lot of beef. I have to really manage the ambush, the Longship Raid. And he's coming at me with these kind of weird characters. One on a chimera. It's odd. It is odd. I honestly didn't know what to think of this list. It was round 5. I was just having a good time. I knew it wasn't neither of us going to win the tournament, so we just had a great time. So there's, if you look up right here, Henry wore makeup for the tournament, and it was pretty freaking cool. He was an Asklander himself. It was counter thrust and capture the flags. He's got big blocks, which is a little scary. I've got my Cayman sticks, which are pretty susceptible to being taken off the board. I think he's got the advantage on the secondary. So his deployment from left to right, and I can't remember. Yeah, okay. So
and for those who are paying attention, just a quick side note. Yes, this is the second flags that we had in this tournament because Alex makes we'll call it interesting decision to randomize the objective in round 5, which I think is kind of well, I'm not a huge fan of it because I think it introduces, the opportunity to kind of really heavily skew things based on, redoing one mission, but
yeah.
It is what it is. So I think in this particular one, that was a bad random result for you, right? Because you have those small kind of relatively fragile scoring units, and he has these massive scoring units, right? So,
yeah. It definitely wasn't a good matchup for me for the secondary. Is what it is. I felt that I needed to castle a little bit, so kind of I castled. Yeah. And he dropped everything to go first. So he has, on the far left is his apprentice wizard, shaman wizard on the chariot. This is his first giant, and then his second giant's right in the center here. Behind this giant here is the trolls. Then next to them is the berserkers with, I believe, his general in it. His general is super killy. And then this is the big block, the great weapon guys with his wizard in it, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think his wizard was in here. And then off on the far left over here, this is the guy on the wyvern, which he used that kind of like the vulture model from Age of Sigmar, the orc vulture model.
Cool model, yeah.
Love that model. Love it, man. Oh, so I decided I needed to castle because I needed to wait for his Longship Raid to come out. The good thing about the Longship Raid is they're all going to come out on turn 2, and they all have to show up on the same table edge, so you can manage around it a little bit. So to prevent that,
it doesn't have that uncertainty that the other ambushers, like sometimes you kind of want to fail your ambush roll so that you have that uncertainty for your opponent.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. My one Cayman sticks on the far left. The next Cayman sticks right next to him. The 2 units with blowpipes are rushing forward at that giant, and this not the big brother giant, the regular giant. I got the Thyroscutuses on the front on the hill here to take some shots at the 2 giants in front of him. Yeah, that's the Thyroscutuses, right? And then I have one Taurosaur here, the Skink Blender, 2 more Taurosaurs next to them, Skink Hunters in front of them. This is my my Skink unit with the bows, but I put the character, since he has no shooting, I put the character with the Thyroscutuses to make the Thyroscutuses +1 strength. The what are they called? Giant magnetic bows. And then on the far right was one of my first drops on counter thrust. It's just a Skink Hunter unit.
And remind me, your scoring is just the Skink unit and the 2 Cayman sticks?
Exactly.
Okay.
So my thinking was these Taurosaurs, you can manage. Definitely, if he wants to come up on this flank here on the south, on my table edge, they can manage those units. And then if he decides to come up here on the left where his wizard is, I can manage with the other Taurosaur, and then I can also shoot with the Thyroscutuses. That was my thinking, and at least I can maybe sacrifice one of the Cayman sticks to the ambushing units, but I basically made it so he can't come up behind me.
Right.
And none of his units can do that. So in his turn, I think in turn 1 he failed his rerollable stupidity test with his trolls and they stumbled forward, which was interesting.
Yeah.
He pushes up basically everywhere. He moves his wyvern guy way out to the right here. He doesn't have any shooting, and he really doesn't have that much offensive magic, so it's nothing crazy. So we go right on to my turn 1. Okay, so I know his Longship Raid's gonna come up next turn. So I put the Cayman stick on the left, push it up a little bit so he could only fit 1 unit in here.
Mm-hmm.
And the second unit have to go way in the back, so it makes this board edge not very appealing for him. But it does give it gives the chariot with his wizard and a charge into my Cayman stick. I think it's really a 50-50 in that combat. If he rolls high on the impact hits, it's really bad for me. If he rolls low, I think I could beat him. We'll see what happens with that. I basically cover all my bases in the back here so he can't come up behind me, and then I point both of the Taurosaurs on the right if he wants to come up on this board edge on the right here.
And you chaffed up his whole line with that Skink Hunter unit, I guess.
Skink Hunter goes up, chaffs everything. I've got all the shooting in the world at this giant on the left.
Okay.
2 units
Is
of
that the
blowpipe.
little one? I guess that's the little one, right?
That's the little one.
Not the... Okay.
And then I push the hunters up at his wyvern, because the wyvern doesn't have a very good armor save. I think it's just a 4+, or maybe it might be a 3+. I can't remember. But I was thinking to plink some wounds off of him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then this is on to his turn. You'll notice neither of the giants are off the board. I failed to kill either giant with 2 units of blowpipe shooting, a Skink Hunter poison javelin shooting, and my Thyroscutus is with +1 strength.
Yeah.
It was
tough.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. He takes the charge everywhere into the chaff. The giant, I think, panics off one of my blowpipe units. He takes the charge into my Cayman stick on the far left here also. Makes it in. At this point, I'm not feeling very confident. I thought I could kill a giant, and that would free up all of my poison shooting in the center of the board to go after the second giant.
Mm-hmm.
But that didn't happen. And I think in the second turn he fails his because he moved his general away from the trolls, and the trolls fail a stupidity check again. It was hilarious. Yeah, and he takes the charge of the wyvern also into these guys. I think I plink off 1 or 2 wounds on the wyvern guy, but I was just like, whatever. It is what it is. They can die. So this is top of 2. Yeah. And you see here, he chooses, which I didn't expect this, he chooses to ambush off this board edge. And it's just going to take him forever to get to me. So I'm not sure what he was thinking. I mean, at this point, it's also looking good in the center for him, so maybe it was the right choice. But at this point, I was surprised he made that choice to ambush these guys on here.
We have a lot of kind of little chaffy units in the center, so like maybe he was figuring that it was going to take him some time to get through everything. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Right, so my turn, bottom of 2. You notice on the left, the combat with the Cayman stick and the chariot continues on. None of us win. Neither of us win. I can't remember. One of us lost combat, but we made the leadership check. Both giants are still freaking here. He blows through. Let's see. This might. So his wyvern does. I think he does 0 wounds to my skinks, and I do 0 wounds to him. And I flee from combat. He decides not to pursue because he didn't want to block up this unit. And then I run exactly like to right here and basically chaff his ambushing units. So now it's gonna take him another extra turn to get to me. I was like, yeah. I'm pleased with that.
You rallied?
I don't remember.
Okay.
We'll see. His berserkers, I think I have to give these blowpipe skinks to the berserkers to keep them from charging into my Thyroscutuses. But again, you see both giants are still freaking alive. It's crazy. On the left, he does get a totemic summon way over here, right there. And I think I just charge it with my my Taurosaur. I think he put it there because he didn't want the counter charge from the Taurosaur into the flank of the chariot over here.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, he didn't fail the stupidity on his trolls every turn, but it was like almost every turn, so I don't remember which turn he actually succeeded in it, but I don't even remember.
He doesn't need them.
Yeah. In his turn, the top of 3, I finally kill that giant.
There's one less giant.
I finally killed the lesser giant. The combat in the far left continues on. We're just pillow fighting over there. And then I think he charges. I don't think I rally with the skink hunters over here, and I do 2 wounds with the skink hunters into the wyvern. I think it has 4 or 5 wounds.
Should be 4.
Yeah, so like I thought that was worth it. It makes him very apprehensive with using this monster now. This is the turn he passes with the trolls, charges into here with the berserker and just killing stuff in the center, starts bringing his big unit around. I'm kind of just trying
something happened that like he just didn't move that center unit like almost at all. Was he that worried about the 2 Taurosaur charge? Maybe
I think he was. I think he was. He was worried about failing a panic, failing a terror. I'll run in there and he'll do some wounds to me, but I'll just do a bunch load of wounds to him.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I think his real power in combat, like this is just a big beefy unit. His real power in combat is the berserker unit over here.
Yeah, with his general.
Yeah. Let's see here. And I think he was trying to snipe my skink character in the center here with something, and he did 1 wound to him. I don't remember how he did that.
1 wound's all you need.
Yeah.
the cheapest chaff in the game.
Yeah, really. Anyway, my turn. Oh, what happened here? I continue to back up because I want to continue to shoot. On the far left, I get my other my other Cayman stick into his chariot. So with the 2 units in, I'm going to win that combat. The first stick ended up surviving 3 rounds of combat. It was pretty awesome. And I just want to keep shooting, trying to get rid of this giant before the skink blender can really face off with any of his big units. Yeah. I think this is the second picture.
Yeah,
okay. I chaff with the skink character. My Thyroscutuses are gone. I think I fail a very unlucky panic from something. I did kill his second giant finally. But the Thyroscutuses are off the board, but the skink character is still alive. Gosh, I can't remember. And I chaff up his berserker unit here. And I'm still just holding tough in the center. But losing those Thyroscutuses is a real big pain for this army. That's a lot of points, and it's like almost all my shooting.
Yeah, now that all your skinks and the Thyros are gone, you basically have to engage if you want to pick up more points.
Yeah. And
it looks like he failed a charge. Or something? With the big unit?
Maybe. Yeah, I think so.
It was a long. Like he failed like a stick or something. Yeah,
it was a long charge. I think he decides at this point it's no use even bringing these 2 units over, so they just sit here now. So I think looking back at this game, I'm really happy with my counteracting the Longhorn raid, the Longship raid. And he actually told me, he said I'm the only player he played in the tournament that actually like thought about it and tried to prevent the Longship raid, which was interesting. Gosh, how did I lose the Thyroscutuses? I don't remember.
Panic on something like where the giant terrored you off?
It was something. Possible? I think it was a failed unlucky panic check.
Yeah, I can't quite imagine what it would have been.
So we're getting down to the end of the game. I end up at this point moving forward, and the way he moves his berserkers on the left here, I am able to move all of my Taurosaurs out of their charge arc. But he is circling around with this Wyvern. I put the skink blender up here, and he thought about this for a long time. He said in his mind, he was thinking it's pretty much a 50-50 combat if he charges in with his big block into my skink blender.
I don't think so.
I mean, I'm going to do a buttload of wounds to him, but he's going to get full strength swings back at me, and he's going to do a buttload of hits to me.
Yeah. Feels like you do a lot more, but maybe Is he great weapons? Can't remember. Or spears?
Yeah, he's great. He's great weapons. He's great weapons.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, maybe he's got a lot of bodies, so maybe he's got enough to survive and then just do wreck you back.
And we talked about it afterwards, and he was thinking about this, and he said normally he would not charge because like a 50-50 combat is not worth it at this point in the game. But he said since we were all just playing for fun at this point, he wanted to see what happened, so he charged in. And I think I win combat by only a few, and he ends up breaking from combat. Over in the center here, I think I triple charged his trolls with three Taurosaurs, killed the trolls, and then he countercharged his crazy berserker block into one of my Taurosaurs. And and the reason why this worked out was because then I charged all of my Taurosaurs off the hill, and then his Wyvern with the double crush attack didn't have a charge off of that because he couldn't see anyone because the hill was in the way.
Yeah, so you're definitely up in points if you trade one Toro for 6 trolls, I think.
Yeah. And I end up.
That's a big swing.
Yeah, it was a big swing. I think we both did like something like 20 wounds to each other or something like that. something bonkers. And I won combat for my baby like 1 or 2 or 3, I can't remember, and he just failed the break test, and I ran him down.
Oof.
That was a big swing for me because also I still have all of my scoring units, and this means I killed one of his.
Yeah, huge swing actually, points, and because is his master in that unit too? The master.
Yep, and his master was in the unit also.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I think in a more highly competitive game he wouldn't have charged, but it was a really fun game. I ended up beating him. The funny thing is I lost a lot of points, specifically the Thyroscutuses, and then all of my skinks ever around. I think, did he beat me in points?
I was gonna say it looks like it's probably like 12 to 13 to you. I would guess.
Yeah, it was a 12 to me. So I think he beat me barely. He got an 11 on points, and I got secondary.
That main unit is surprisingly cheap because it's like a core unit for him, and you gave up all your skinks, your stigs, your thyros. Like that's and a torso. It's a lot of points.
Yeah, true. So overall, I was thinking about this game. I think I played it really right, kind of semi-castling and doing as much shooting as I could before he got to me. I think my early round shooting was horrible. I should have blown up that giant, both of the giants, so much earlier. And then losing the Thyroscutuses was pretty rough. I think he should have long shipped Raid in a different position. I know you're going to take a Taurosaur charge or 2 in the face. Maybe up on the far left here was maybe a better shot, but these guys just end up doing nothing.
Yeah. I also feel like having just that chariot guy threatening, like your weak flank that has 2 very easily gotten scoring units, like I feel like pulling both of his giants back to the center where you can kind of like chaff and aggregate all of your forces against him. I think bringing another one over with that chariot could have easily either tied or won him the objective and harassed you more on the other flank, right?
Yeah, true. He did do 3 drops, which I think were both the giants and maybe the wizard, and then dropped everything. And the only thing I had dropped was 3 skink vanguarding units. So
but I mean, in his first, like if you go to his first turn movement, he pulls that giant that was, I think, pretty well positioned over on the left, your left, and brings him central. Whereas I think that if it kind of brought him out where that chariot is, then all of a sudden you got a lot of pressure over there. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense. So I get 12. I ended up with 57 battle points total for the tournament, which is that's my sweet spot, like slightly over average. It's my go-to. But hey, Infernal Zoo was really fun as always. Alex, thank you. But we'll have one more battle report from the Infernal Zoo, Vespasian's round 5. So stay tuned for that. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks everybody.